Hello, my big cats, my lions, and my lionesses. Seems like we got another one for you. Yes, me and this turkey. We're traveling, and we got another one for you guys. This one is called The Devil's Whisper. It's developed by Madness Way Games and published by Mangotronics. So I hope you guys are ready for this game. You gotta make some right choices so you don't affect anyone else. Let's see what ending we will get in this one. So without further ado, guys, let's just roar into it. Guys, let's travel. Let's see if I can land on this one safely. I got a lot of content for you guys, so please don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're almost there, 500 subscribers. So please don't forget to help out. Cause I know with you guys can give me some love back, right? I'm trying to land right now, guys. Okay, here we are, guys. We landed. Everything is fine. I'm gonna mess with anything else. Let's go with the new game. Deep into the darkness, peering long I stood, there wandering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals can do. Yeah, man, in the faint shadows of my dreams, something had changed. It had grown into something more. I had to read like that, guys. Okay, now this one, they allowed it to be, I guess, slow. Okay. It was shaken to my core, my sanity, which I had been piercing together like fragile charge of glass, was shattered once more. For a while, I was carried beyond the reaches of earth and free from the limitations of this body. Nothing could keep me from my deepest desires. But just as everything that goes up must come down, all good things must end. We're all in the hands of fate. The Lord has made his decree, and death is the final word. There was nothing to be done. My time had come. Chapter 1. Unleashing the Nightmare. I woke suddenly, wide-eyed and covered in cold sweat. I could feel my heart racing a mile a minute. That was a dream, wasn't it? Being half asleep, I could still remember some details from my nightmare. A man, a promise, a curse, and a pact to fulfill. I tried to remember more, but the longer I tried, the more everything started blurring together. I tried to piece together the details I could remember, but nothing seemed to fit. It would have to wait.
They seem to be coming back.
Amelia? They seem to be coming back, I yawned and sat up, blinking sleepily. I looked around to see what time it was and hopefully to figure out what I'd been doing before I fell asleep. Through the window I could see a sky in sepia and orange tones. The sun was setting. I picked up my phone to check the time, 6:15 p.m.
God, look at the time!
I know, right, Amelia? The time went by quick.
Andrew must be furious. He asked me to send him a sketch of the culprit as early as possible so we could start working.
I jumped when my phone started ringing in my hands. I checked to see who it was. Oh my God, it was Andrew.
Oh no.
I dropped my phone in a panic and watched in horror as it bounced off the bed and hit the floor.
Damn it!
Damn, your phone broke. It broke, Amelia. I scrambled out of bed and grabbed my phone.
No! Third time this year I've cracked the screen. Very well done, Amelia.
It sounded like a cheap screen, Amelia. It broke. It just fell on the floor and broke easily. You need some probably powerful glass. I tried to answer the call, but the answer button had a crack running right through it. I started desperately tapping all around the screen, a little higher, a little lower, until finally...
Hello?
Hello? Amelia?
Oh my God, it's Andrew! It's Andrew! Oh my God!
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Fine. Is everything alright?
Yes, well, apart from a broken cell phone, let's just say everything is fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Sorry to bother you. I got a little worried because it was getting late and I hadn't received your files. I'm not pressuring you or anything. I just wanted to see if everything was going okay.
Andrew isn't the type of person who pushes you to work faster. He's a natural leader who instinctively helps others and makes sure that everything is done right. That being said, I doubt he would be very happy with me if I told him that I fell asleep instead of working on the project. What should I do? Make something up? I don't care about Andrew.
Andrew, you see, there was a little snag.
Yeah, I was afraid something had happened. I mean, you've always been such a perfectionist about everything.
No, it's not that.
Damn it. Why does it have to be so
Just
hard?
thinking about the expression you must be wearing right now makes me feel nervous.
Pardon?
Good job of me thinking out loud again.
I'm sorry.
Listen, it's okay. Tomorrow we can do the work at school. You know, there's this class where we rarely do anything. We can finish the sketch during that hour, don't you think?
Definitely. Once again, I'm sorry. I promise it won't happen again.
You don't have to apologize. It can happen to all of them.
Thank you.
If you need anything, you can text me or call me. I'm here for you. I'm afraid I have to hang up now. Madison is furious. Looks like she lost something.
Oof. I wouldn't want to be in your situation. I know how that girl gets when she's upset.
Bye then. Have a nice evening.
Well, that went a lot better than I expected.
I was gonna work with Andrew tomorrow. Maybe falling asleep had been a good thing. I could feel in my cheeks turning pink. Well, mine not. I guess hers are turning pink. I don't know. But mine ain't. Right, guys? Mine ain't. Mine ain't. My damn cell phone. I turned it over my hands, taking in the gravity of my situation. The screen was almost completely shattered.
This is going to cost a good chunk of my allowance.
3:20 a.m. In the light of a full moon, on a cloudless night, accompanied only by the sound of a gentle breeze rustling through the leaves, a lone soul waits patiently for the right moment to begin his ritual. He emerges cautiously from the bushes that line the front gates of an unlit building. He looks around nervously to make sure that no one is watching. Confirming that he's alone, he throws himself to the ground and begins to dig with his knife.
Just a bit more. Just a little bit more. I can't stop now.
Moonlight flashes across the knife's surface, blinding the man. Unfazed, he continues to dig in a frenzy, not noticing the bite of his blade. With each fresh scoop of earth, all he can hear is the sound of his heart pounding in his chest at an inhuman rate, punctuated by his grunts and sighs as he continues to dig. Sweat drips from the man's brow and onto his bloodied hands, stinging and breaking his focus. The man's screams pierce the darkness. He shakes his head and spits in frustration. Standing over the freshly dug hole, the man produces a bag filled with strange objects. He quickly places each object from the bag into the hole while reciting a desperate prayer in an ancient tongue.
Oro pro vobis, oro pro vestra excellentia, lucio tibi, sisqui mi ad idocisti.
You see that guy? He summons a squid. He's summoning a squid. Look, it says here, sea squid, me and Tedudusti. I don't know what Tedudusti means, but he is summoning a squid.
Domine, ad metas mes pervignat.
Right there, he said, domino, made a permanent. So he wants to play dominoes, maybe permanently. With the ritual complete, he uses the freshly turned earth to cover his carefully arranged objects that for him have specific and incorruptible order. It was finally done. He had successfully performed the ritual.
Make it worth your while, my lord. Please, let all of this be worth it.
His breathing becomes heavy. The man's expression becomes pain, and he turns his face to the ground, which quickly becomes damp with his tears.
Will you ever be able to forgive me?
He had accomplished his task whether he liked it or not. Would all his work be worth it in the end? He wasn't sure. But he was sure that with the guidance of his master, all would be well. Or would it? Suddenly, I began to hear the whispers of otherworldly voices. I looked around trying to see where they're coming from, only to realize that they're coming from me.
Come closer.
I grabbed my head with my hands, gasping in horror.
More. Come closer. Come closer. Just come closer.
I don't want to come closer.
Come here. Just come closer.
We're waiting for you, Amelia. We're waiting for you.
Another nightmare. I felt my heart pounding in my chest as I lay in bed, my body aching all over. It felt like my heart was going to explode. I opened my eyes as soon as I realized I was awake. It was just a bad dream, nothing more, just a dream. Calm down, okay? It's not like this hasn't happened before. Unfortunate but true, this really has happened before. All the details of my dream vanished as this thought settled in my mind. This has happened before. My heart sank. It can't be happening again, can it? I thought this afternoon was just a fluke, but 2 nightmares in a row. I wanted my mom. I wanted to run out of my room, but the same way I did when I was a little girl. To run down the hall to my mom's room, where she would be waiting with open arms to dry my tears and hug me tight. But I wouldn't let myself do that. Mom had worried so much when I was first diagnosed with nightmare disorder. Just remembering the expression on her face every night. When she would tuck me into bed, she was scared too. I ran to her bedroom after night, crying for her to save me from monsters. And as I got older, the nightmares only got worse, more vivid, more unsettling. It's going to be okay, Amelia. Remember what your therapist said. Fixating on your nightmares won't make them go away. I stared out the window. It was a beautiful night. The full moon shone brightly in the clear night sky, and a gentle breeze whispered through the trees. Just like in a dream, I shook my head and sighed. Don't think about it, Amelia. Don't think about it. I turned on the lamp on my bedside table and pulled my sheets over my head. My nightmare proofing complete. I tried to relax and prepare for a hopefully dreamless sleep. Getting up early has never been one of my strengths, but today was an exception. I barely got any sleep last night, thanks to my nightmares. I spent the whole night trying to fall asleep, tossing and turning, and checking my phone countless times. Hell, I even turned on the TV. When I finally started to doze off, I heard the thunderous clanging of my alarm clock. I immediately jumped out of bed and headed straight to the shower. I imagined washing all my stress down the drain as I rinsed the shampoo out of my hair. Today was a new day with new ways to learn and grow, according to my teachers. Amelia, come on Amelia, this is going to be a good day. That's what my mom told me. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry if I don't say open parentheses, close parentheses, all that crap. I'm just reading real quick. My reflection caught my eye as I was leaving the bathroom. I had dark circles and I was pale. Despite my hot shower, a corpse would have looked more lively. But I had bigger things to worry about. I still had to show Andrew how little progress I'd made on the sketch. He was going to be so disappointed. I took my seat and tried not to panic. Andrew entered the classroom wearing his customary warm smile, a smile that usually made me feel safe and warm. But right now all I could feel was anxiety. Anxiety that got worse when I saw him walking past all our classmates and straight towards me.
Hi, Amelia. How's your day going?
I stood up at him, my mind racing with all the horrible things he was probably thinking about me. Amelia, I was counting on you. Amelia, you're so irresponsible.
Andrew, good to see you. Listen, about yesterday, I know you must be thinking that I'm completely irresponsible. What I did has no excuse.
I was panicking, words just pour out of me, trying to find an excuse that could possibly defend my
Just
behavior.
imagining what you must be thinking about me, which is fine, of course. Everyone has their own opinion of other people. That's not something I can avoid, but
Amelia.
if Mr. Harrison saw my behavior, he would be ashamed of me.
Amelia, look.
Andrew, I know you must have thought that I rarely failed to turn in an assignment on time, and that's why you thought I'd have the sketches ready early. And I can only imagine how much I must have delayed you. And on top of that, I was trying to make excuses. If I were you, I really couldn't.
Amelia, stop it.
Andrew shouted, and he did not shout anymore. It dawned on me that most of what I had said probably didn't make sense to him. It barely made sense to me.
Amelia, it's all right. We all have bad days. You have nothing to apologize for.
I could tell he was trying to reassure me, which was working. Of course, he always knew just what to say. I gazed into his eyes, repeating his words in my mind. It's alright, we all have bad days. I smiled appreciatively and nodded my head.
Thank you, Andrew.
We were interrupted by someone else entering the classroom. A girl wearing high-top sneakers and a murderous glare stomped into the classroom, her arms crossed over her chest.
Good morning.
Her name is Madison.
Oh my, is that Cherry? Will someone please explain to me who is responsible for that unbearable smell?
She received no reply because the rest of the class had already scattered at the word Cherry. You'd think a demon had entered the classroom instead of a young woman. Perhaps demon isn't a strong enough word, but she will definitely cause hell for anyone who knows her. Well, maybe with one
Good
exception.
morning, Madison.
Upon hearing my voice, her expression instantly brightened and she spun around to face me.
Oh, Amelia. Good morning, sweetheart.
Madison is Andrew's twin and my best friend. We've known each other since middle school, so I knew exactly how to cheer her up.
Hey, did you see what that guy who claims to be a music critic tweeted yesterday?
Of course I saw it. It was the stupidest thing I've seen in a long time. Saying that the music industry is in a downward spiral because of K-pop. And here I thought he was actually reviewing with objective opinions.
Oh, and did you see what the famous Starlight Girls member said to him?
Oh, but of course I saw it. Wait to shut him up with a couple of words.
Girls, I don't want to sound rude, but I'm afraid I'm not understanding much of this conversation.
Madison slid her eyes towards him and scowled, aching an eyebrow to emphasize how annoyed she was by his interruption.
But I can see you don't need me right now, so I'll leave you two alone.
He waved goodbye and left in search of friendlier company. I turned to Madison and looked at her disapprovingly.
Come on, you shouldn't be so hard on him.
Maybe living with him once in a while must be lovely, but every single day, sometimes I'd like to run away.
It must be so much fun.
It's not, believe me.
Well, I never knew what it's like to have a brother. I wonder why Mom and Dad didn't want to have more kids.
Our conversation was interrupted again, this time by the arrival of our homeroom teacher. Everyone in the classroom dispersed to find their seats.
All right, guys. Everybody sit down, please. Before we start class, good morning to each of you. What can I say? It's good to start the day seeing your faces again. Anyway, your venerable Principal Gibson tells me that you're preparing for the Spring Festival. Every year our Reisterfield Academy puts on one of the most memorable festivals that any institution can have the joy of putting on. As you know, our town is full of history that we preserve and commemorate through these ceremonies. I don't have much to tell you, this isn't your first year at this school. This year, our class agreed with the principal to make a magazine to compile the most representative events that Reisterfield City has had. As many of you know, 2 of your classmates are in charge of doing a sketch for the cover of the magazine. Miss Smith and Mr. Matthews, how far along are you with the sketch?
felt my stomach drop. I still hadn't made any progress. Andrew and I looked at each other. What should we tell him? We were supposed to have the preliminary sketch done today, and Mr. Harrison even let me bring art supplies home with me so I could work on it. Andrew rose from his seat calmly and cleared his
You
throat.
see, Professor, there was a personal inconvenience which didn't allow me to.
No!
I acted without thinking, and now I was standing in front of the whole class. Focus, Amelia. I couldn't let Andrew take the blame for my mistakes, especially because he'd been so understanding. I wasn't sure about admitting my mistakes to the whole class, though maybe we could share the responsibility. Well, he didn't do his sketch, right? And she's supposed to do a sketch too, both of them, right? So, let's put it was her fault. I took a deep breath and turned to Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. But you don't have to take responsibility for my actions.
Andrew gave me a sympathetic smile, then shrugged helplessly at Mr. Harrison before sitting back
You
down.
see, Mr. Harrison, I was not able to perform the work. Andrew had nothing to do with it.
I could hear my classmates quietly murmuring to each other. They might all think that I'm a slacker now, but at least they won't think Andrew is too. That's what matters. Did I do the right thing? Mr. Harrison had high expectations for both of us, so regardless of who was at fault, we still let him down.
But of course, guys. You have nothing to worry about. I must admit, it was very unwise of me to ask that of you yesterday, knowing how little time you had. However, we can't afford to fall behind. Therefore, I'll put together a team that can help you with the design. Would that be okay?
The team sounded like a good idea, but something fell off. Why didn't he assign this to a group to start with? Andrew and I exchanged glances, then nodded to Mr. Harrison. We were curious to see who would be working
Miss
with us.
Matthews, please work with them.
That makes sense, as Mr. Harrison knew we were all close. This new team was off to a good start.
Sure, no problem.
2 more people should be enough to get the job done in time. Mr. Lawson, work with them.
Lawson, Conrad Lawson, so much for the good start. An odd and poor choice, I thought, and a strange coincidence. Conrad Lawson was also part of our social group since he was dating
Do
Madison.
you agree, Mr. Lawson?
Do I even have a choice, Mr. Harrison?
I think you already know the answer to that.
I thought so.
Conrad pounded his fist on the table in frustration. Oh, it's so typical for him to throw a tantrum over nothing.
Finally, Miss Macmillan. We'll be working with them too.
Another weird coincidence, and I hadn't expected Claire to join our team. And by the look on Madison's face, she hadn't either. Well, this was going to be a problem. Not that I had anything against her, Claire Macmillan was a good student and a very kind person, ask anyone. The problem was that she and Conrad dated each other before he and Madison got together. Madison couldn't stand Claire.
Okay, guys, you know what you have to do. I want that sketch ready by tomorrow. I'm confident that each of you will do an excellent job. Good luck.
Are you fucking serious? I could have expected anything. Literally anything. I mean, it's obvious that I would be picked to work with Andrew because he's my brother, and I can even kind of understand Conrad being with us. But Claire? As if Mr. Harrison didn't know that she's the last person I'd want to engage in conversation with.
Madison had a point there. Mr. Harrison knew very well that Madison and Claire didn't get along. Forcing them to work together was a weird choice for such a time-sensitive project. What was he doing? Mr. Harrison is the most beloved teacher at our school. He's close to all his students and is usually very thoughtful. So it's hard to believe that he will have them work together just to cause trouble. There had to be something else going on here.
Do you know what the worst part is? I'm absolutely certain that Claire will only use this opportunity to make me angry and get closer to Conrad. Ugh, I'll have a serious talk with her.
You're overreacting, Madison. Something smells fishy here. You're overreacting, Madison.
Come on, Madison. You sound like a jealous girl.
Don't even think about finishing that sentence, Amelia. I mean, it's not jealousy. I know it's not that. There's something about Claire that has never quite convinced me. How could she help us? With both her parents involved in high politics, what's she in school for? She must have her whole damn life figured out.
Stop it, Madison. It's not Claire's fault that her parents are well off, and besides, that doesn't mean she doesn't have a nice personality. She's like any other girl. Just give her a chance.
Still, what's the point of her pretending to be a good person if everyone knows perfectly well that she's always been interested in Conrad, even though he's now my boyfriend?
What's the point, Madison? Good question. Oh, politics. Cold, cruel politics. From the point of view of our classmates, Claire is nothing more than a mere interloper here. From the actions of our venerable Principal Gibson, it is evident that the daughter of two of our city's most important politicians studies at Reisterfield Academy, just to give us a better appearance.
Oh good, Conrad has arrived just in time to make things worse. Well, Madison can be hard to handle when she's in a bad mood. I'm sorry guys, she's usually pretty friendly and people tend to like her. Conrad, on the other hand, he's the kind of guy that people start to loathe after listening to him after talking for less than a minute. I still don't know what Madison saw in him. Maybe he's just not my type.
Claire here is just an attraction to make the facility look nicer.
How could he be so callous? I take it back. He can't possibly be anyone's type. I hated how he acted like he was superior to everyone, especially women. But I wasn't going to let his awful behavior get to me. I refused to let Conrad Lawson ruin my day.
Guys, this conversation is pointless. Madison, please tell Andrew that we will meet at my house today at 5 p.m. Please bring all the material we may require. You know how Mr. Harrison is. He surely wants a hand-drawn sketch.
What about Claire?
Madison's eyes blazed with fury at the mention of Claire. If looks could kill.
I guess innocent Claire is invited to your house too, right, Emilio?
Actually, the last thing I needed was to get dragged into another one of their arguments about Claire.
I'll go find Claire to let her know the time of the meeting.
I flashed a pained smile and hurried back to the classroom. That was so awkward. The pair they had already broken up twice this month. I wonder if this will be the third one. Hopefully Conrad will remember to grab the project materials from Mr. Harrison before he left for the day.
I'm home.
I was greeted by the heavenly aroma as I stepped in the door. I followed by the scent to the kitchen and found my mom in the middle of cooking something that looks delicious.
Fine. As far as I can tell, fine.
I put my bag on the dinner table and sat down to relax with Mom for a while.
Hi, Em. I'm making lasagna. Just wait for me for a couple of minutes while I take the food out of the oven.
Oh, Mom, there's no need for that.
You're not gonna tell me you don't feel like eating your favorite food.
Under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to refuse such a tempting offer, but today wasn't a normal circumstance. I couldn't tell Mom that of course she'd be crushed.
You got me. There's definitely no being that can resist your culinary prowess.
You flatter me, honey.
Mom.
I have a feeling something's not quite right.
What do you mean?
Please, Amelia. I know you perfectly well. I am your mother.
I couldn't argue against that. Mom always knew when something was bothering me. Sometimes even before me. I felt like I was waiting for something to happen. I just didn't know what.
It's nothing. I think I'm just a little stressed because I have some classmates coming home.
What? You mean today?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I just found out today too.
Amelia, you have nothing to worry about. What time are your friends coming over?
My friends, I wasn't sure I consider all of them my friends. We were simply at the mercy of Mr. Harrison's will. I thought that perhaps some good would come out of this. With the exception of Madison, I rarely invited anyone over, so it would be nice to have some fresh company. What could possibly go wrong?
I told them to come at 5 o'clock. Although, now that I think about it, maybe it was too early. Too late, maybe?
Amelia, my dear little Amelia. If it's neither too early nor too late, it means it's the right time, see?
She was right as always. Mom always knew what to say to help me calm down and put things into perspective. I wish I was like her, so calm and so
Why
free.
don't you go to your room and lie down for a while? It's still 4:30. I'm sure when your friends come over, everything will be a little better.
I smile and give my mom a hug. There's nothing more comforting than being hugged by someone who really cares about you.
Thanks, Mom. I'll go upstairs then.
I grabbed my bag from the table and headed upstairs to my room. I was halfway up the stairs when someone was knocking at the door.
Oh, don't worry, Amelia. I'll get the door.
Mom took off her oven mitts and went to the front door. I continued up the stairs but stopped again when I heard a familiar voice come from the entry hall.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Was that Claire? Was she always... What was she doing here so early?
I was supposed to meet Amelia today for some schoolwork.
Amelia? Of course, she told me some friends of hers were coming over.
I went downstairs and into the hallway. A shy girl with curly red hair and white blue eyes was standing in the doorway. Yep, it was definitely Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Amelia!
Well, I'll leave you two alone. I don't want to interrupt. By the way, there's lasagna and melon juice if either of you would like it.
Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of you.
Mom smiled at both of us and went back to the kitchen.
Come in, please. I must admit I didn't expect to see you at this hour.
Oh, am I too early?
A little bit, yes. But that's okay.
I'm sorry, Amelia. I was a bit bored at home, and I guess I rushed too much to be on time.
No, don't worry.
I needed to change the subject, but I didn't know what to talk about. Actually, I realized I didn't really know anything about Claire. Maybe this was a chance to get to know her better. Claire always did seem nice, and it would be nice to make another friend to have over once in a while. So I guess.
So, how do you feel about having Mr. Harrison back?
Oh, I can hardly believe he's back at school. We were all so worried about him. He hasn't been back since his wife died in that car accident. But it's a good sign to have him back. That means he's feeling better.
It sounds like you have a good relationship with him.
I do. Mr. Harrison has always supported me with some personal problems.
Definitely. When I was feeling stressed about exams, I could always count on him for a pep talk. It's a shame what happened to his wife. I just hope the professor can get his life back on track.
The conversation flowed easily. I could now confirm that Claire was quite nice. Frankly, I began to feel sorry for Madison. I mean, I obviously know why she hates Claire, but it would be hard for me to hate Claire even if she was my own boyfriend's ex. Her boyfriend's ex, guys, not mine, okay? Just reading the game. Well, if I had she had a BF, of course. We passed the time presently, and soon Andrew and Madison arrived at my house just after 5 o'clock.
Howdy, Mrs. Smith.
Madison, dear, lovely to see you.
Hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm Andrew, Madison's brother.
Well, if it isn't the famous Andrew. Amelia has told me so much about you.
Oh, really? Amelia talks about me a lot?
I wish that the ground would open at my feet and swallow me. On one hand, I appreciated that Mom was trying to be supportive, but on the other hand, she was embarrassing me more than words could possibly describe.
I promise not to say it again.
No, not at all.
Andrew's cheeks were turning almost red as mine.
Mom!
I know, honey. I should have been a stand-up comedian.
Everyone in the room laughed except for me. Well, Mom, what am I gonna do with you? As embarrassing as she can be, Mom understands me more than anyone else, and I know I can count on her when I needed her. I mean, I know Dad wants to be there for me, but we began drifting apart when he got promoted at work and started working late all the time. I hardly saw him after that. Things only got worse when we moved again. The stress of the move hung heavily over the household. At least it was just across town this time, I guess. Moving to Reisterfield City meant that we were no longer living in the same city as any of our extended family. It felt so lonely. Probably, it's probably why I've seen Madison almost like a sister ever since we met in high school. Sure, sometimes we argue, but that's true of most families, and that's what we are, we're family. The four of us chatted over lasagna while we waited for the last guest to arrive. It was, of course, as delicious as always. We cracked a few jokes and shared stories, almost forgetting that we had a job to do later. It was a genuinely nice time. I was enjoying everyone's company so much that I could completely lose track of time. Give me a second, guys. I want to see something here. Okay. I want to say something real quick. Good. It was a genuinely nice time. I was enjoying everyone's company so much that I completely lost track of time. Seconds turned up to minutes and minutes turned to hours until finally Conrad arrived. So he arrived, I guess, at 9 hours, so probably 7. I expected his arrival was not very pleasant and my mood sour as soon as I heard his voice. Madison, however, was elated. Alleviated, I don't know. Elated. Her face positively lit up when she heard him.
Could someone open the door?
Claire was banging on the door, practically demanding that someone come running to open it for him. Mom graciously headed to the door to answer it, but Claire was already on her feet and hurried past her.
Oh, don't worry. I'll go get it. You guys go ahead and enjoy yourselves.
Claire went to the door and threw it open with a smile that could outshine the midday sun. Madison's face shifted to bewilderment and anger as she watched the scene before her play out. Sure, it was a little odd, I won't deny it, but it didn't strike me as sufficient to arouse Madison's jealousy. Then again, I never had a romantic relationship, so I had no room to comment on this. Andrew took her hand and talked quietly to her in a reassuring voice, telling that everything would be okay. My mom, detecting the tension in the air, decided that it was time for her to leave the dinner table.
Guys, it's so nice to have shared the afternoon with you. You were so lovely. You see, I have some unfinished work and stuff. Adult life, I guess. I'll leave you to it. Use the whole house freely. If you need anything, I'll be in my room.
Mom got up from the table and went to her room just as Claire returned to the dining room with Conrad in town. This clearly upset Madison even more. She pushed Andrew's hand away and crossed her arms. Conrad tossed his bag onto an armchair and dropped himself onto our couch. It was like he owned the place or something.
Oh, Amelia. I'm so sorry to arrive at your house like this. But you understand, traffic, a lot of traffic. It puts anyone in a bad mood. Yeesh. And this couch. God. If there's a description of discomfort, it might be this one.
Could you at least disguise your lack of manners?
I wouldn't be so optimistic.
Conrad used to brag about the prestigious schools he attended before coming here, but I guess none of them taught him any manners. Too bad for us.
Guys, please. I'm sure you won't have any problem solving your personal issues later. Will.
You know what? You're right. We shouldn't give this matter any more thought. Conrad, did you bring the materials I asked for?
Materials? What do you mean?
What do I mean? What do you think I mean?
Makeup and girly stuff?
What? Seriously, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Was he messing with me? He had to be messing
We're
with me.
talking about schoolwork. W-O-R-K? Mad, please, please, please tell me you brought what I asked for.
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, it's a sketch for a magazine. What else could we need?
Of course! What else could we possibly need? We just require, well, what do we need for a sketch anyway?
This was insane. Scolding them wasn't going to get us anywhere though. Calm down, Amelia, calm down.
Okay, let's look for alternatives. Amelia, do you have drawing pencils, erasers, rulers?
And there was Andrew staying positive and looking for solutions. Unfortunately, I had already returned all the art supplies to Mr. Harrison, the supplies that Conrad was supposed to bring with him in his car.
No, not really.
I furrowed my eyebrows in a futile attempt to add an apology. Andrew smiled at me and reassuringly turned his attention back to finding a solution.
Anyway, there's no point in arguing about this. There had already been designated people in charge who should have brought what was asked of them.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
This is not a game, Madison.
You said yourself that this is no time for...
Which doesn't mean that things shouldn't be taken seriously.
You know I never fail to perform my duties. I'm serious.
Then help us look for alternatives.
Alternative, but what could we do? There are a couple of options asking the neighbors if they can lend us something. No, it's highly unlikely they have drawing equipment. And even if they did, they hardly know us in the neighborhood enough to have the confidence to lend us any. Maybe all that's left is...
Can we go shopping for materials? I mean, if Amelia doesn't have anything to work with, we might want to go to a stationery store nearby.
I like that idea.
Of course you would like it.
Amelia, are there any stationery shops near your house?
Let me remember. I think there's one about 3 blocks away. Although I'm not sure if it's open at this hour. It's not exactly early, you know.
Well, some of us can walk over and buy everything we need.
Conrad pulled some keys out of his pocket and tossed it in the air only to catch it again.
What?
My car.
Your car what?
We can go in it, if you want.
No. It's way too close. It would just be a waste of gas.
But what if the stationery store is closed? We'd have to go to another one that's maybe a lot farther away.
I had to admit that Claire had a point, but it was pretty obvious that she was just doing this to be on Conrad's side. What's going on between them? I was beginning to understand Madison's jealousy.
I'm with Amelia. I don't see the point in using a car.
Conrad and I can go quickly in the car. That way we don't waste time.
2 people doesn't seem enough to me.
Enough for what?
We all go, or no one goes?
Conrad, I swear, if you're trying...
That's enough! Let's all go in the damn car!
I hate yelling and I hate feeling like an autocratic leader and giving directions to others, but I wasn't going to let another fight happen. Everyone nodded and headed for the exit. Madison and Conrad got in the front of the vehicle while Andrew, Claire, and I sat in the back. Conrad started the car and sped off in a few seconds. Doesn't this guy have more than a couple of brain cells in his head? I suspected from the time it appeared that the stationery store nearby was closed. Andrew and I suggested we go back and just leave it until tomorrow. Well, sure, Mr. Harrison would have understood if we explained carefully. But of course, it was Conrad, nothing more and nothing less than a child's play by his parents, and whose ability to listen to others seemed to be undeveloped. And the situation with Madison was only getting worse, more so since Claire was in the same car. As if our dynamic at home wasn't tense enough, things seemed to have become a little dangerous.
I will not go along with apologizing to Mr. Harrison. I have never in my life failed to deliver a single assignment, and this will be no exception.
Let's find somewhere to get materials to work with then, damn it!
It's not that easy, you idiot. Even with the damn car, we haven't found another plate if it wasn't for the fact that someone was too late.
Not for nothing, but I wouldn't say Conrad's at fault here. I mean, it's kind of late already. Conrad is doing enough with bringing us all in his car.
I'm sorry? Did I really hear that?
Again, the conversation became awkward and full of snide remarks.
I'm pretty sure you understood what she said.
I I'm not talking to you. And don't you stand up for her.
Guys, please. Are you going to keep doing this?
Sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's more than obvious that Claire is just here to spite Conrad. To spite me.
No one is against you, Madison.
No, I am. I can't stand another second with this girl in this car.
So what? You're gonna throw me out with the car running?
If I have to.
What the hell are you talking about, Conrad?
It's unbelievable that this guy talks about his girlfriend like she's an object. I wasn't going to let him offend my friend.
This is none of your business. Leave your nose out of things you're not supposed to.
I'll mess with whatever business I want.
You know you're nothing more than a poor, simple scholarship girl.
This is it, comrade. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was not going to tolerate one more offense. I was about to say the most unkind and rude words that could have come out of my mouth, but Andrew interrupted me.
Enough, damn it!
Conrad pressed the accelerator even harder, giving a strange sense of adrenaline to the encounter, as if what was happening wasn't enough.
It was supposed to be just Conrad and I coming along. But because of someone nasty, we're in this situation now.
Now you're going to say it's my fault?
Evidently, you were never invited in the first place.
Now we were on top of a vehicle moving at full speed down the highway we hadn't even originally planned to come on. Conrad was seriously worrying off the
Wait a
road.
damn second. Where are you taking us?
If you all want to fight so badly,
Conrad continued to accelerate to the point where our own words were indistinguishable amidst the engine noises and the wind buffeting at us.
then I hope you can keep doing it in hell.
This guy was crazy, and this time I wasn't wrong at all.
What now? You're trying to kill us?
Conrad, this isn't funny. Stop the damn car now!
You should have thought about that a lot before you got in. We're in this. No turning back now.
Andrew, Claire, and I were each holding tight to some part of the seat, or wherever we could, as if it really would have protected us from a crash. Rather than feeling stressed or angry, I was not really worried about my safety.
If we survive this, I swear I will report you for attempted murder.
I probably would have reported you for jealousy before.
That's not even a fucking crime.
Well, it would be a shame, a great shame. The lives of Mr. Harrison's 5 beloved students ended here and now.
Interrupting the heated discussion, the silhouette of what appeared to be a person in the middle of the road was caught in everyone's vision. With barely a couple of seconds to react, Conrad slammed on the handbrake, bringing the car to a screeching halt. My head bounced off the back of the seat in front of me, hurting my neck in the process. But the worst part was the raw sound of the car slamming into whatever we hit it. Inside the car, there was silence for a few seconds, with neither of us knowing how to react or what to say. With my eyes on focus and my mind barely recovering from the impact, one of us managed to verbalize something.
What's that?
Conrad swallowed hard and stopped himself. We all knew perfectly well what had happened. We hit a human being. And right now, with the force of the impact, that person was probably living his last moments. Conrad was the first to get out of the car, knocking on the door incidentally because of the speed at which he got out. Madison quickly followed Conrad's lead, and in a few seconds the rest of us were behind them. All around us was a small shack, and in the distance we could barely make out a few houses. But in front of us was only the road. Not in sight was the human being or animal that we ran over. We were 5 high school students in the middle of the road, far from the city.
There's nobody here, right?
But just a few seconds ago.
We were all dumbfounded. The event that had us just occur seemed to completely unexplainably and only made us... Sorry guys, I messed up the reading there. We were all dumbfounded. The event that had just occurred seemed completely unexplainable and only made us more confused than we already were by the shock.
I'm pretty sure there was a person on the road. I saw him.
Of course there was a person. Didn't you hear the sound when we hit it?
An animal, maybe?
I'm pretty sure an animal wouldn't make such a loud noise.
So what, we hit a person and magically disappeared? That's stupid.
As illogical as it sounded, everything seemed to indicate that this was the case, and it was confirmed by the dent in the hood of Conrad's car. But from whatever side we looked at it, what had just happened made no sense at all, and the five of us were uselessly trying to find some kind of explanation for it.
What if the person ran away or something?
But that's not possible.
I don't think a human being, at least an ordinary human being, could have survived the impact.
Conrad, did you see if the body was lying on the road?
Of course I did. I even stared at him for a few seconds. It was a person. I'm sure of it.
Did you realize who it was? A man? A girl? Who?
I don't know, damn it! It all happened too fast. But I'm sure we hit something. I have no doubt about it. Why would I have used the handbrake in the first place? And not only that, you all saw it too.
It could be anything.
The only thing we have for sure is that whatever we hit disappeared in just a couple of seconds.
For a few minutes we were all silent, each one of us trying to think of an explanation or maybe something to say, at least something that made sense in this madness. But the vast majority of us were barely aware of ourselves at this point. It almost seemed like a fictional story, something you'd be told, not something you expect to live. And the silence was broken once when one of us put it something that caught her attention. What's that, guys? Claire raised her hand, pointing to an object just a few feet in front of us. We slowly approached the object, being able to see more and more clearly what it was. When we were just inches away, we stopped. An open book stained with blood, drawings, and marks of all kinds. The book appeared to have been simply left to the roadside amidst the bushes and dirt. There were several unidentifiable symbols that seemed to be taken from
A grimoire?
a grimoire.
What?
A grimoire.
Look at the markings.
They're pentagrams. Writing in all sorts of languages, and these symbols.
But what's a book like that doing in the middle of the road?
And more importantly, why is it stained with blood?
We were silent for a few minutes. We were all thinking, probably each processing everything that was happening and trying to come up with logical explanations. But did it have one? This felt so surreal, so otherworldly. It was as if in a moment every thought had stopped, every part flowing in my own life, just to make me reflect on this very moment.
I've had enough for today. It's time to go.
This is stupid. We're just wasting our time.
I'm not moving from here before I understand what happened.
Come on, Amelia. There's nothing else to do here.
But guys, we're just going to leave the book here?
Claire's right. We can't just leave. We ran over a person, for goodness sake.
Amelia, we didn't run over anyone. I'm sure it was just an animal.
So what's going to happen tomorrow? Are we going to assume none of this happened?
Amelia, we can't do anything. And I think I speak for everyone here. No one here would leave without first checking to make sure no one is hurt. But that's not the situation. We're fine.
I promise we won't just leave it at that. But for now, it's time to go.
I'm so tired. It's been an exhausting day.
I looked again at the book lying on the road and blurring in my vision. There was something else here, something had to mean all of this. But deep down, they're right. We can't do anything else for now.
This is what your lack of control led us to.
Please, Madison, I never imagined this would happen.
That's enough. Not going to get anywhere arguing about this. Conrad, would you please take us all home? I don't mean to accuse that we're in your car, but if we're here, it's partly your fault.
No problem. I was going to do it anyway.
What are we going to tell Mr. Harrison tomorrow? We didn't even finish the skit.
I don't give a shit about that magazine or what Mr. Harrison might tell us. We'll worry about that later.
Others were talking about what happened in there, and we're already planning what we were going to do tomorrow. But I couldn't be like them. I was lost in my own thoughts. I felt as if it was just the beginning, as if it were pulling back the curtain on a nightmare. A horrible nightmare that was just beginning to show its first signs. Alright guys, I'm gonna save it here. We're gonna save it here. And I'm gonna do another save just in case. But this is gonna be the part 1 of the Devil's Whisper, and then we'll continue with the second part later on, okay guys? I'm very tired this time, guys, and I want to finish it, but we'll continue later on. So thank you for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out for now. Peace out, guys.